Hey all, it's Sunday. Father's Day, actually. So, getting ready. We're gonna talk about celebration food today. It is one of the questions we get all the time in our nutrition coaching is how do you decide between food that's just sustenance, so mainly food for energy, food to keep you feeling lean, and food for having fun. So I'm gonna be making the menu today. Paul has chose Wagyu steaks, which if you've had a Wagyu steak, I've heard they're a lot of fat. So I'm gonna show you my tips and tricks to make desserts and sides, less calories, less fat, that'll still fill you up and it'll still taste you good. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, let's get going. Okay, so this is my absolute favorite dessert. I make it probably 3 times a week because Paul and I go through one cheesecake in about 2 days, and it's our Greek yogurt cheesecake. So I'm subbing out basically any cheese for all Greek yogurt, and it's super high protein, super low fat, and like 1 serving. So 1/4 of an 8-serving cheesecake is only like 112 calories. So I already mentioned, today is Paul's special day, so we're having some more food we don't normally have. So with those steaks, they're gonna be super high fat. So I'm gonna make a dessert, a substitution, to keep the fat down a little bit, to keep the calories down, but still make it just as tasty. So let me show you how I do this. And I want you to pay attention to how fast this cheesecake's coming together. It is 7:15 a.m. on my clock. I'm gonna go turn on the oven, 350. So let me get that ready to go. Okay, and here we go. Now I'm already set up. Typically when I do any type of cooking or meal prep, I like to get set up in advance so that it goes fast, and then I'm not chaotic running around the kitchen wondering what I need to do next. So I'm starting with 3 eggs. Then we're gonna mix in 3 tablespoons of a sugar substitute. You can choose whatever it is that you want. I'm going with this one, this monk fruit sugar. I've seen it at Costco. I get it on Amazon, but they have it at all the grocery stores. So I'm gonna go in 3 tablespoons with that. And I'm actually gonna use this sugar later and make a cucumber salad as one of our sides. So we got the sugar in. Next thing, I am making chocolate raspberry cheesecake today. It's by far one of my favorite flavors. And then Paul's other favorite is my white chocolate almond. But today we're going chocolate raspberry because that's what I have on hand. So now I'm gonna do 3 teaspoons of raspberry extract. This is just McCormick. The other one that I actually really like is Watkins. So if you see that one at the grocery store, I've had a lot of their extracts for cheesecake and they are delicious. Okay, so that's my first step. So I'm gonna whisk those 3 ingredients up. All right, we're good to go. Now I know this recipe by heart, so I'm gonna tell you like the grams of certain things as I go through this, but I'll have this recipe posted so you guys can check it out. All right, now I'm doing, whoops, forgot to show you. 1 box of sugar-free pudding mix. So if you're making this cheesecake and you want to change the flavor, you can change the extract, you can change the pudding mix, and then the other key ingredient is regular old cake mix. And so I'm using, I have like a Betty Crocker fudge cake mix, but I keep a lot of stuff in mason jars. Basically the foods that I use over and over again to make it easy to actually prepare it. So rather than having to go into the pantry, open up the box, open up the clip that's holding the cake mix, I store a lot of stuff in mason jars. It makes it super easy. All right, now I'm gonna turn the food scale on for this. So if you are someone that uses a food scale or you're macro counting, a lot of times the size of a measuring spoon, the weight of it is not exactly the weight that if you put it on the food scale. And so the food scale is just gonna be more accurate. So if you're trying to get leaner, accuracy is key. Use food scale. So I'm going for 30 grams of cake mix. So I'm gonna add that right in with the pudding. And I am there, okay. And then I like to whisk right now before I add the Greek yogurt, just to get the pudding and the cake mix all mixed in with the egg and sugar. Now I've made this cheesecake as a lemon white chocolate. Around Christmas, I make a mint Oreo. I've done a caramel pumpkin spice one. I've done a regular strawberry banana. Funfetti's really good, so if you have kids, using like Funfetti cake mix and they have cake batter extract, it is so tasty. And then you can also just get creative with what you add in it to kind of change it up. All right, here we go again. I canceled my scale out to 0. I'm gonna use 0% Greek yogurt. I have found that the IIFYM brand works best with this cheesecake. I have no idea why, it just cooks up the best. So I'm looking for 3 cups, 680 grams. But have you ever found how annoying it is to measure out Greek yogurt in a cup and then you're just constantly trying to get it out? That's the key of using the food scale. Less mess, and you're gonna be more accurate, and it's easier to do. So I'm going for 680, which is close to about, I'd say 2/3 of this tub, because I've, again, made it a lot of times. So let's just see if I can get right there with it. All right, I'm at 610. Okay, there we go. So see, it's almost like the end of the container. All right, I'm gonna keep this. Hold on a sec. There we go. I like to keep this counter nice and organized. So I'm gonna whisk that in there. And then, basically, like, that's the cheesecake, but I really like chocolate. So I'm gonna add mini chocolate chips to mine, just like Toll House mini chocolate chips. It's just a nice little different flavor texture, which is generally what we're looking for with different types of foods. A lot of people will be like, oh, I'm just craving chips, or I'm craving that. Generally, if you know anything about like the satiety index, you're actually more craving a texture. And so I love chocolate, right? But I'm craving sometimes like the texture of it. And so I add mini chocolate chips because you get more bang for your buck, right? 1 tablespoon of regular size just doesn't spread out as much as the minis. So let me get that all mixed up. Getting those edges. All right, now, canceling out to 0. Last thing, I'm adding 1 tablespoon of mini chips, 14 grams. There we go. Okay. So mix it up, and then I'll put it in my 9-inch pie pan. If you do not have a 9-inch, you can use a cheesecake springform pan. Full disclosure, I've never made a real cheesecake, so I only have pie plates. All right, so see that nice color? It almost looks like mousse. It's so yummy. So we're pretty much mixed up. Okay, now I'm using a baking spray. It's a baking with flour. You can use any cooking spray you have. Just go ahead and get it all over that 9-inch pan so your cheesecake doesn't stick. And let's get it in that pie plate, get it in the oven. I have found, as far as like cook time goes, remember we put it at 350. Okay, the oven's almost heated up, so we're gonna be like perfect timing here. So 350, about 30 to 35 minutes. And I say that because every oven is different. And if you don't know the exact oven temperature that you have, I would recommend getting an oven thermometer, and then when you are trying to get it to a certain temperature, just test it out. But this one for my oven happens to be 33 minutes. And I know that by looking at the edges when they're like nice and cracked, and the middle is still a little jiggly like regular cheesecake. All right, that's pretty good. There we go. So that's kind of like my gauge. But as long as you got your ingredients right, you go anywhere between 30 and 35 minutes, you're gonna be good to go. So let me spread that all around so you can see what that looks like. It's perfect timing. Okay. There we go. Now, I don't know why I do this, but growing up, my mom made a lot of homemade cakes and cookies and breads and everything else. And I would notice when she would make stuff like this, and I don't know if it was to get the air bubbles out, but she would like pop it on the counter like, and then kind of shake it around. Maybe it was to get it more even. I have no idea, but I do that. So I give it a couple taps and then we're good to go. Okay, that wasn't even 10 minutes. It's 7:24. So you can have a dessert like this made in 9 minutes. And I'm gonna tell you right now, a lot of my ladies that make this, they don't only just eat it for dessert. It's great for breakfast, a snack, lunch. Again, it's 112 calories and it's a lot of protein per serving, like 13 to 14 grams. I generally have 2 when I eat this. Okay, so just wrapping up the morning. Put the babies down for nap. It's about 1 p.m. We went on a nice family walk. That's probably like our favorite thing to do on Sunday morning. And there's no construction in our new build, so it's nice and quiet. We're just looking at those rolling hills, and then we got outside. We did a little swimming. They got their hair cut by Daddy on Father's Day. Now it's time to get my lift in. So it's lower body today. Then I'm gonna have some lunch. Then I'm gonna get ready for our Father's Day celebration dinner. All right. wrapping up my workout, and I am gonna show you guys how I do my macros for the day. Okay, so I went ahead and I built in the steak first. So remember, having special steak tonight. Paulie's Wagyu strip steak, a lot of fat. So I put my fat in first, or I put my steak in first, and then I put my dessert in second. So I like to plan my day based around hitting my protein first, or if there's something out of the norm, I put that in first. Then I go for protein sources, and then I go for, what am I building in for enjoyment? For me, it's always something sweet. It makes me excited to know that I'm gonna have it at the end of the day or middle of the day. So when I'm in here, I have New York strip, and then I have my cheesecake, my raspberry cheesecake, 2 slices, 2 chocolate chip cookies, because when I'm done with my cheesecake, I still want something else that's sweet. And then I reverse engineer from there. So then I go, okay, how am I gonna hit my protein for the day? So I have some strawberry cheesecake, PE Science protein powder in here. So I'm gonna make a blizzard post-workout. But before I have my blizzard, I'm gonna do 2 rice cakes with my Instant Pot shredded chicken. So there's my next protein source to get that number up there. Put on some G-Hue sauce and some sugar-free sweet pickles, which is super delicious. Have my shake, then I'm gonna save up for that delicious dinner. So it's super easy. I'm just thinking, okay, how am I gonna stay in my calories for the day, which is 1,400, because I'm currently trying to burn some fat to get a little bit leaner. So my calories are a little bit lower. This is very little for me. And yeah, I reverse engineer. I go, okay, protein first, enjoyment second, which is always something sweet, and then I just kind of fill in the rest from there of foods that just make me feel good and energized. Here it is. All right, this is our Father's Day celebration dinner. I got my Wagyu steak, I got a pork loin chop with a barbecue rub, the cucumber vinegar salad. I'm doing another salad to fill up my stomach with some Bolthouse cucumber ranch. And then the dessert, saving the best for last. I'm gonna have 2 slices of raspberry chocolate cheesecake, 2 cookies, and that's pretty much what I got going on. So I love that I get this much volume of food by strategizing my day, filling up on a lot of nutrient-dense, high-protein stuff. And then I'm gonna get those babies to bed. I'm gonna kick back on the couch with Paul, enjoy our night together, have my cheesecake, watch some Netflix, and get ready for nutrition check-ins tomorrow. That's a wrap.